As we go through life, we gradually discover who we are, but the more we discover, the more we lose ourselves. What we call the present is given shape by an accumulation of the past. People die all the time. Life is a lot more fragile than we think. So you should treat others in a way that leaves no regret, fairly, and if possible, sincerely. One foot in front of the other. Repeat as often as necessary to finish. What we seek is some kind of compensation for what we put up with. Remove everything pointless from an imperfect life, and it lose even its imperfection. Even chance meetings are the result of karma. Things in life are fated by our previous lives. That even in the smallest events, there's no such thing as coincidence. For a long time, she held a special place in my heart. I kept this special place just for her, like a reserved sign on a quiet corner table in a restaurant, despite the fact that I was sure I'd never see her again. The answer is dreams, dreaming on and on, entering the world of dreams and never coming out, living in dreams for the rest of time. Dreams come from the past, not from the future. Dreams shouldn't control you. You should control them. I just don't get it. He told her, I love you so much. I want us to be one. This couldn't be clearer to me. Or, more important, I don't care if it's unrealistic. That's how much I love you. No mistake about it. Ice is cold, roses are red. I'm in love, and this love is about to carry me off somewhere. Sometimes when I look at you, I feel I'm gazing at a distant star. It's dazzling, but the light is from tens of thousands of years ago. Maybe the star doesn't even exist anymore. Yet sometimes that light seems more real to me than anything. Maybe it's just hiding somewhere, or gone on a trip to come home. But falling in love is always a pretty crazy thing. Intelligence thus. And to acquire a healthy intelligence takes a certain amount of time and effort. Life is not like water. Things in life don't necessarily flow over the shortest possible route. In the midst of life, everything revolved around death. Even if we could turn back, we'd probably never end up where we started. I was always hungry for love. Just once, I wanted to know what it was like to get my fill of. To be fed so much love I couldn't take anymore. Just once. Anyone who falls in love is searching for the missing piece of themselves. So anyone who's in love gets sad when they think of their lover. It's like stepping back inside a room you have fond memories of, one you haven't seen in a long time. I dream. Sometimes I think that's the only right thing to do. We are both looking at the same moon, in the same world. We are connected to reality by the same line. All I have to do is quietly draw it towards me. For a certain kind of person, love begins from something tiny or silly, from something like that, or it doesn't begin at all. Narrow minds devoid of imagination, intolerance, theories cut off from reality, empty terminology, usurped ideals, inflexible systems. Those are the things that really frighten me. It's not as if our lives are divided simply into light and dark. There's shadowy middle ground. Recognizing and understanding the shadows is what a healthy. People fall in love without reason, without even wanting to. You can't predict it. That's love. Every one of us is losing something precious to us. Lost opportunities, lost possibilities, feelings we can never get back again. That's part of what it means to be alive. As time goes on, you'll understand. What lasts, lasts. What doesn't, doesn't. Time solves most things. And what time can solve, you have to solve yourself. The better you were able to imagine what you wanted to imagine, the farther you could flee from reality. I could hear the roots of loneliness creeping through me when the world was hushed at 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I get real lonely sleeping with you. Two people can sleep in the same bed and still be alone when they close their eyes. Why do people have to be this lonely? What's the point of it all? Millions of people in this world, all of them yearning, looking to others to satisfy them, yet isolating themselves. Why? Nobody likes being alone that much. I don't go out of my way to make friends, that's all. It just leads to disappointment. The human heart is like a night bird, silently waiting for something, and when the time comes, it flies straight towards it. What matters is deciding in your heart to accept another person completely. When you do that, it is always the first time and the last. What happens when people open their hearts? They get better. I sometimes think that people's hearts are like deep wells. Nobody knows what's at the bottom. All you can do is imagine by what comes floating to the surface every once in a while. It's just like yeast said, in dreams begin responsibilities. Flip this around and you could say that where there's no power to imagine, no responsibility can arise. In this world, there are things you can only do alone, and things you can only do with somebody else. It's important to combine the two in just the right amount. Most everything you think you know about me is nothing more than memories. You can hide memories, but you can't erase the history that produced them. If you only read books that everyone else is reading, you can only think what everyone else is thinking. If you can love someone with your whole heart, even one person, then there's salvation in life, even if you can't get together with that person. It's hard to tell the difference between sea and sky, between Voyager and sea, between reality and the workings of the heart. Don't let appearances fool you. There's always only one reality. It seems to me that reality itself has a screw loose somewhere. That's why I try to keep at least myself in line as much as possible. I realize full well how hard it must be to go on living alone in a place from which someone has left you. But there is nothing so cruel in this world as the desolation of having nothing to hope for. An empty shell. Those were the first words that sprang to mind. Something incredibly important had disappeared from me for good, leaving behind not life, but its absence. Fact may not be truth, and truth may not be factual. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. The most important thing we learn at school is the fact that the most important things can't be learned at school. Spend your money on the things money can buy. Spend your time on the things money can't buy. The light of morning decomposes everything. A certain type of perfection can only be realized through a limitless accumulation of the imperfect. Everyone may be ordinary, but they're not normal. Whether you take the donut hole as a blank space or as an entity unto itself is a purely metaphysical question and does not affect the taste of the donut one bit. Listen, every object's in flux. They don't stay in one form or another or in one place forever. Listen up, there's no war that will end all wars. Closing your eyes isn't going to change anything. Nothing's going to disappear just because you can't see what's going on. Only a coward closes his eyes. Despite your best efforts, people are going to be hurt when it's time for them to be hurt. I never trust people with no appetite. It's like they're always holding something back on you. Unclose your mind. You are not a prisoner. You are a bird in flight, searching the skies for dreams. What makes us the most normal, said Rico, is knowing that we're not normal. Memories warm you up from the inside, but they also tear you apart. If you remember me, then I don't care if everyone else forgets. I don't know what I want, and if that's the case, as my ex-wife said, I'd only hurt people. In the world we live in, what we know and what we don't know are like Siamese twins, inseparable, existing in a state of confusion. Which of Haruki Murakami quotes did you like the most? Please share your thoughts in the space provided below. Please click the notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to A Wise Person Once Said for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.